From America's farm to fork capital and some of the richest farmland in the world, it's time for What's in Season with Michael Marks.
Well, welcome to What's in Season with Michael Marks. We are going to have a ton of fun today. You know, it's going to be summertime this month, so what do we talk about in the summertime? Yes, watermelons. I'm going to teach you how to pick out the best watermelon on the face of the planet, so we're going to have a ton of fun with that. We're going to have Dr. Chelsea Azarkan is going to be with us today talking about what should we be eating in the summertime? What do our bodies need in the summertime? Ag in the Classroom is here with us today. A fun experiment on watermelons. And of course, Chef Adam Peckel is going to be here with, we're going to do a salad. Not just any salad, we're going to supersize that salad. Well, let's go ahead and get started. How do you pick out the best watermelon on the face of the planet? You know, all fruits and vegetables, from apples to zucchini, they will tell you whether they are good or not. You just have to know what in the world you need to look for on that fruit or vegetable. So this watermelon, I'm going to show you about 5 or 6 things on this watermelon that tells me this is probably going to be a really good watermelon. The very first thing you're going to do when you walk up to a big display of watermelons, you're going to make sure they're symmetrical in shape. That's right, even from side to side, symmetrical in shape. That means the bees did their job properly. That's right. You have to have bees to pollinate watermelon because the pollen on a watermelon blossom is very thick and the wind can't even blow it around. So you have to have bees. So when you're driving down Highway 99 or I-5 and you look out those fields to the right or to the left of the freeway and you see those vines out there and say, what are those vines? And then about every 5 to 6 rows, you see about 8 white boxes. Well, now you know what those vines are. Those are a watermelon field being pollinated by those bees. So the bees flutter around. Now, bees have the best labor union on the face of the planet. I don't know if you know this, but bees have the best labor union because in their little tiny bee contract, it says if it's too hot outside, they don't have to go to work. They stay in the hive, keeping queen bee nice and cool, fluttering around, keeping queen. If it's too cold outside, guess where the bees are? That's right, they're inside, keeping queen bee warm. If it's windy outside, where are the bees? The bees don't go, it's just too much work fluttering around in wind. If it's raining outside, have you ever seen a bee with an umbrella? No, you can't. So the bees are inside. So if it's too hot, too cold, too rainy, too windy, the bees are not outside pollinating. That's when you end up with watermelons that are lopsided. You've seen them, small on one end, big on the other end. Those watermelons were not pollinated properly. So you first look at a watermelon symmetrical in shape, even from side to side. The next thing I do, I turn it over and I look right where it sat on the ground, the belly of the watermelon. A nice yellow belly is what you're looking for. That's right, yellow belly. If it's white, just put it down and find another watermelon that has a yellow belly. That's a very good sign. Turn it over and look at that stem. Check out that stem. There should be a black ring of crystallized sugar around that stem. That means when they harvested this watermelon, there's so much sugar in it that a little bit of it oozed out, the sun hits it and turns it into this black crystallized sugar. Finally, how many of you thump the watermelon? Proudly raise your hands. Very good. How many of you thump the watermelon and have no clue why you're thumping the watermelon? Yeah, I see those hands out there. So I know a lot of you are thumping the watermelon to listen for a hollow sound. Well, I have a question. What if you were deaf? If you were deaf, you would never ever be able to pick out a good watermelon. So instead of listening for a hollow sound, I want you to hold the watermelon in your other hand, thump it. If it vibrates in your bottom hand, that watermelon is solid through and through. So the next time you're thumping the watermelon, I want you to think of that wonderful Beach Boys song, Good Vibrations. You want those good vibrations, and that's exactly what you're looking for on a good watermelon. Now, early watermelons, by the way, were like 80 to 100 pounds, and I even remember those old Texas watermelons, 40-pound Texas watermelons. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if that's a watermelon, what in the world is this? The Personal Watermelon. This came out in 2003, and it was Jinping Zhang, a scientist and breeder from China, that came to the United States, actually to Northern California he came, and he worked on developing a personal-sized watermelon. I asked Jinping Zhang, what did you need to do to create this? He said, number one, I had to make it small, 5 to 7 pounds. That's as big as they get, 5 to 7 pounds. I said, why so small? He said, you have a lot of smaller families in the United States, right? You have a single mom with a child or an older couple. What are they going to do with a 25-pound watermelon? Besides, where are you going to put this in the refrigerator? So you had to make it small, 5 to 7 pounds. Number two, you had to make it seedless. Americans are lazy. We don't like seeds anymore, so you had to make it seedless. And number three, you had to make the rind as thin as the rind on a cantaloupe, which is exactly what he did. And these have become the biggest thing in melons. By the way, how do you store your watermelons? Well, it's very simple. Who wants a warm watermelon? You want your watermelon ice cold. So keep your watermelon in that refrigerator. Keep it ice cold. Hey, coming up, we are going to talk about what if I was a commencement speaker at a college graduation? What would I say? Don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to What's in Season with Michael Marks. So, if I was giving a commencement speech at a high school or college, what would I say in my commencement speech? Well, I would tell the story of a red delicious apple. The red delicious apple originated in Peru, Iowa, that is. And Jesse Hyatt was the farmer, and he had a beautiful apple orchard. He was a Quaker, and he had a very neat and orderly orchard. So one particular spring, he was walking through his orchard, and he noticed in between 2 rows of apple trees, there was a little apple seedling. Well, he couldn't have that, so he took out his little pocket knife, went over there and just cut that little thing down. He was happy again. Nice, neat, orderly orchard for Jesse Hyatt. Well, the next spring, he was walking through his orchard, and he noticed he gets to this one location right in between 2 rows of trees. There's a little apple seedling, and he remembers, that's the same apple seedling that I cut down last year. Well, this time it grew back bigger and stronger. He had to take a little time with his little pocket knife to cut that tree down a second time. The third spring, he's walking through, and the first place he goes to that one location in his orchard. And there it was. That apple seedling was growing back bigger and stronger. In fact, it was so big, he could not even cut it down with a little pocket knife. He had to go all the way back to the barn and get a hatchet. That's right, a hatchet. And he chopped that tree down for the 3rd time. Now, Jesse Hyatt, the 4th spring, he's walking through his orchard. He goes to that one location, and guess what he saw, ladies and gentlemen? He saw that apple seedling bigger, stronger than ever before. Now, Jesse Hyatt, being a Quaker, he's very orderly, but he's also a very merciful man. And he said, this is what he said to that little apple seedling: if thou mayest live, then thou will live. So he just let that, that's how they talked back then, at least a Quaker did. And he let that apple seedling grow, and it grew. 8 years later, he started harvesting this apple. He fell in love with this apple. This apple became the most popular apple in the United States for almost a century. That's right, an apple that he cut down 3 times, and it became the most popular apple in about a century. In fact, it became one of the most popular apples in the world. So here's my message to the students, high school students or college students. You're gonna fail in life. You're gonna make mistakes in life. People are going to cut you down in life, but it doesn't matter. What matters is you keep getting up bigger and stronger. And that's my message to this class. Coming up, we're going to have Mandy Bottoms from Ag in the Classroom, all about watermelons. Coming up. Don't go away. Well, welcome back to What's in Season. Oh, I'm very excited about this. Get the kids, get the grandkids. We're going to talk about pollen and bees. You got to talk about bees when you talk with kids. Hey, you know, watermelon. Here's Mandy Bottoms is with us from Ag in the Classroom. Thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate it. So we're going to talk about how they pollinate watermelon. So many crops here in California need bees. Is that right?
Absolutely, and watermelon is no different. Many of the fruits and vegetables we enjoy come from the pollination that happens when bees visit those flowers. So we have a little activity today that you can do at home with household materials to replicate what it might be like for a bee to pollinate a flower.
All right, very good. Speaking of a flower, here is a nice flower. This is from a squash. That's a squash blossom, right?
But it looks pretty similar to a watermelon blossom.
And they're not open all day, are they?
No,
it's
they're not.
very, very interesting. There's only a few hours where the watermelon blossom is open and ready for the bees, and then it closes back up. So there's a very short period of time. Pumpkins are even worse. Yeah. Pumpkins have like a 30-minute period where they're open. Let's pollinate them. If they don't, they're done. Yeah. It's amazing.
It is. So here's what you need to do this activity at home. If you have kids, this is probably materials that you already have. You need a box of mac and cheese, a box of juice, which would work great, some pipe cleaners that you might have on hand, and then just a paper plate, and I use some paper, but it doesn't matter what color paper you have. Okay. Any paper works.
All right, so how do we go?
So here's how you do it. I just started by drawing a picture of a blossom. This is going to be our male flower. Okay, so we'll just keep that in mind. And then I'll show you how to make it. I took a couple of these pipe cleaners.
You're gonna teach me?
I will teach you. Okay. I just took two, I kind of made mine bee colors, but they don't have to be. It can be whatever color you want. And I just wrapped it around my finger, leaving a little bit on the end. So you want a little bit for the feet.
Got it.
And then I wrapped it around a couple times. And then, you could wrap it around as many times until you kind of run out. And then you just want little feet. Now, pipe cleaners are perfect for this because just like bees, they're furry. And bees are furry too. In fact, a lot of people don't realize that bees and squirrels have the same amount of hair on their bodies.
Whoa, wait a second. That went over my head. Say that again.
Bees and squirrels have the same amount of hair on their bodies.
Little tiny bee and those big squirrels.
And it's significantly more than humans. So,
oh my goodness.
So all of that hair is packed down into this little package on a bee, and that's what helps them carry the pollen from flower to flower. Okay, so once you have your bee ready with its legs, and your kids can have fun with this. I made little wings on mine for, I had a little extra time. And so this is gonna be your bee. So now we have the male flower, the bee. I drew a little female flower here, and what we're going to do, bees love nectar. And so the juice box is going to be their nectar. Oh, and kids like juice boxes usually, so you can kind of, they can enjoy being a bee too. So I just pierced the straw through there. I'm gonna push it down. So now when the bee comes to visit the flower, they get a little taste of nectar.
Very cool.
Sometimes kids get confused. They think the bees are eating the pollen. They don't, they just happen to carry the pollen. They're after the nectar. And then the last thing we need, this is our pollen. And so it's just a packet of mac and cheese, the cheese part, and we're gonna have them going from the male flower to the female flower. So there's some pollen for them.
Oh, cool, look at that.
Let's move that out. So they have everything they need. They have their pollen, they have their male flower, their female flower, and then the pollination happens when the pollen from a male flower touches the pollen from a female flower, and that's where the fruit gets developed. So they can bring their little furry bee friend, and it comes down and it visits the pollen at the male flower, and then they come and they can take a sip of the nectar, and then they visit the female flower, and then they can do that back and forth. And you can see that as they visit, pollen falls right into that female flower, and that's how you get those beautiful round watermelons that you were talking about when they get enough pollen to
that is so awesome. Every month you come up with some fun things just for kids. Thank you, Mandy Bottoms, for being with us. We'll be right back. The doctor is in the house, Dr. Chelsea Azarkan, talking about summer eating. Coming right up. Well, welcome back to What's in Season with Michael Marks. I hope you've been having fun. I've always said that you watch this show, and in 30 minutes, you're going to learn more than most people learn in a lifetime about fruits and vegetables that they eat. And the fruits and vegetables that you eat in the summertime is different than the fruits and vegetables you should be eating in the wintertime. And to talk about that, we have Dr. Chelsea Azarkan is with us. Thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
So summertime. What do our bodies need, and what produce should we be focused on? Because, you know, we can get produce 365 days out of the year, right?
Yes.
Citrus is a winter fruit for a reason, right? We need vitamin C in the winter. But there are things in the summer that we should be eating.
Yeah, so we've got a nice spread of summer produce here, and there's a couple things that almost all your summer produce is going to have in common. One of them is a high water content, so...
What do our bodies need in the summer?
Hydration. So our lettuce here is over 95% water, actually.
A watermelon is 95% water,
Lots
too.
of water. They also all have a lot of vitamin K. So vitamin K amplifies the effects of vitamin D. And what are you getting when you're in the sun all summer long?
Vitamin D.
So then you eat your produce, you get your vitamin K, and they work together.
And vitamin K, by the way, women, very important for women, right, for vitamin K. Iceberg lettuce has almost more vitamin K than almost any other produce item, so very important.
Very important for bone health. You put vitamin D and vitamin K together. Great.
Okay, what else do our bodies need? So we need a lot of moisture.
Right.
So things with a lot of moisture.
We also have antioxidants, which we've talked about before. So zucchini and lettuce actually have a similar antioxidant profile to tomatoes. Those antioxidants include vitamin A, and that protects our vision when we're out getting a lot of sun exposure.
Very, very cool. Okay.
Yes, they're also great for blood sugar control. So a lot of us are thinking about slimming down in summer. Blood sugar control is key to that.
Need to get my swimsuit.
That's right, yeah. So, and then we have our melons, our stone fruits, our cucumbers. So all of those are good for our skin. The antioxidants in these help protect us from sunburn. And they also have vitamin C, which supports collagen production.
Oh, now collagen,
Yes.
big three-syllable word there, Dr.
Yeah.
Chelsea. What's collagen? What does it do?
So collagen gives our skin its structure, its support, and you want it in these nice, straight, almost like a house, framing it out. When you go in the sun, your collagen gets all spaghetti looking. And so the vitamin C and the antioxidants can help protect that collagen, help protect us from sunburn, so we can go in the sun without damage.
Very cool. Okay, cucumbers. Everybody puts cucumbers on their eyeballs, you know, when they're in the spa. Cucumbers are really good for you, right?
Yeah, cucumbers are a great source of potassium. So potassium is an
Hold on,
electrolyte.
four-syllable word, potassium. You're
Potassium.
I'm just a produce guy
That's
here.
right. It's just a mineral though, and it also acts as an electrolyte. Electrolytes help keep us hydrated and help keep our water balance and our cells and our body healthy. And that tends to get depleted when we're spending a lot of time in the sun.
So we're out in the sun, we're moving a lot more in the summer, right? So
Right.
we get muscle leg cramps a lot more. So that
Right.
potassium and moisture helps with preventing muscle cramps.
What also helps with that, yes, is watermelon though. So watermelon has an amino acid called citrulline, and that helps increase blood flow to your muscles. So if you're out being active, having all your summer fun, you eat a little bit of watermelon, that's gonna help keep the blood flowing to your muscles. Eat it with a little bit of cucumber, that'll help prevent the cramps, help prevent dehydration.
All right, very good. So eating your fruits and vegetables. By the way, for lycopene with watermelon, men who eat a lot of, have a lot of lycopene in their system, 45% less chance of getting prostate cancer.
That's right, and lycopene is more rich in watermelon than in tomatoes.
There you go. So eat your fruit and vegetables in the summer, and there's a reason why. Thank you, Dr. Chelsea. Hey, coming up, the chef is in the house. What's he doing? Supersizing the salad. Welcome back to What's in Season with Michael Marks. Oh, we talked about lettuce and salads with Dr. Chelsea Azarkan. Well, we're going to talk about a salad. Not just any salad, ladies and gentlemen. You all supersize your meals. Everybody supersizes a meal. We're going to supersize your salad, ladies and gentlemen. Only one person, and one person only I call for this, Chef Adam Peckel. You're going to supersize our salad.
Absolutely. Clearly, we got some goodies to supersize that salad.
You did bring, when I say supersize, you brought the goodies. Tell us what we have here.
Well, of course, it all starts with great fresh lettuce. I mean, any of your ingredients, you always want great fresh ingredients, but I think it's more important when we're talking salads. More often than not, all those ingredients are going to be raw, so you want the best of the best. So we've just got a bunch of mixed lettuces. I've got
Beautiful lettuces
some red
there. Oh my
leaf,
goodness.
which you don't see all the time, some green leaf, a mix in here. I've got some arugula, which is one of my favorites.
Rocket lettuce.
Rocket, as the English
Yes.
would call it. Of course, croutons, you got to have them.
You made those yourself?
Of course I did.
Yes.
Some great local bread, lots of garlic. Blood orange is probably some of the last in the season. I was excited to see those at the market. First of the season cherries, excited to see those. Don't usually see those at the same time, which I was happy to see. Not watermelon, but watermelon radish.
Very
as you
good.
know. So
You brought the watermelon
sticking
in
with the
on it.
watermelon theme. Some nice toasted nuts, bacon, of course. Bacon always makes everything a little better. Olives. I've got some great marinated potatoes and a couple of house-made dressings.
I see some asparagus here as well.
Asparagus also, again, I think some of the last of the local stuff that
Yeah.
we'll see for the season. And then one of my favorite things to put on a salad, lemon herb chicken. It's simple, but it's really delicious and a great way to make. Chicken breast tastes great and is a great way to add to a
So
salad.
the salad is no longer a side salad. This is an entree salad. We've supersized this. This is your meal,
That's
right?
it. When I think that's like some people, or especially maybe men, or steer away from the salad because it's not satisfying. Well, get some goodies in there, get some things you like, throw a little bacon in there, throw some chicken in there, and now you've got yourself a meal that's satisfying and healthy.
And we could add anything else we want, right?
This is, I
like
mean-
I love raisins in mine.
Sure.
Are you going to get mad if I put raisins in mine?
I'll get mad if you put raisins in mine, but you go ahead and put whatever you want in your salad.
I like pineapple in mine too. Can I put pineapple in mine?
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think what's
can
cool
do-
about supersizing a salad is maybe pick up on a theme. Maybe you do some ham and some pineapple, and again, you take a theme, buffalo chicken wings or whatever it is, and use some of those elements and throw them into a salad. I think that's a great way to make that a satisfying
Well,
salad.
let's make a salad. It starts with a plate. Oh, a plate,
That's
ladies
right.
and gentlemen. Yes, we always keep our plates for salads in the freezer.
Absolutely.
Why do we do that, Chef?
Well, cold plate, cold food, cold plate. And we want to, of course, we want the salad to be cold. A salad's always going to be a little bit better if it's nice and chilled. So no reason to put a cold salad on a warm plate. You like hot food on a hot plate, so cold food, cold plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's build this thing.
Let's start with a simpler salad. I've been doing my harvest salad for many years, and it just starts with a nice mix of greens. You can get the nice Mexican mix at the store. I like to kind of hand pick mine and make a nice little combo. Add a little of that arugula, and then I start with a simple vinaigrette. And this is just a good simple citrus vinaigrette. It's 4 ingredients. It's a couple of citrus juices, olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little bit of shallot and Dijon mustard, and that's it. I like mine a little more tangy. I think that really helps to bring out the flavor of the greens, keeps it nice and light. Again, I like to toss with my hands. You're at home, toss with your hands. You can really feel how the dressing
That's
hits the
right.
greens.
It coats everything, and you're not bruising everything because you're gentle with
I'm
your
gently
hands.
tossing them. I got a nice big bowl.
I like that.
That's big.
Okay.
And then so we start there. And why I call this the harvest salad is because again, it's just a nice seasonal thing. And so that my formula for that is the lettuce and then a nut, which in this case I've got some nice little toasted almonds that I did, a nut, and then a nice seasonal fruit, which are these Brooks cherries that just hit the floor, and then a cheese, and I've got some nice local cheese from Nicasio, and I got like a hard cheese or firm cheese, and just shave it on there. And again, this is a simple salad, but just done really well. And then from there, we can supersize. So okay, maybe we add a little bit of our nice lemon grilled chicken. And you know what? Let's do a little bit of bacon on there. And right there, you've got an entree.
Very, very cool. And again, you can have as much fun as you possibly want and add as many items as you want to supersize your salad. It's healthy for you. It's good for you. It's summertime.
Yeah.
And nothing better than that in the summer. Adam Peckel, thank you so much for being with us, Chef. And thanks once again for joining us at What's in Season with Michael Marks. Join us next time. We'll see you then.